It began as a whisper, a phantom signal flickering on the edge of perception, barely registering on the sophisticated screens of a military control room. The signal would appear, then vanish, as if swallowed by the cold, rolling mists above the Baltic Sea, a place where secrets often drift with the fog. In Kaliningrad, Russian air defense operators leaned forward, eyes narrowed, their faces tense in the dim glow. They sensed something out there, unseen, silent, and elusive, testing their vigilance and their nerves. This was no ordinary aircraft. It made no sound, left barely a trace on radar, and seemed to dance just outside their airspace, taunting the very systems designed to detect intruders. The world was on the brink of witnessing a new era in military technology, one where machines could outwit even the most advanced defenses. The US Navy's MQ-25 Stingray, originally known as a refueling drone, was now playing a far more provocative and strategic role, pushing the boundaries of what unmanned systems could achieve. Its mission was clear: test the limits of Russia's most advanced air defenses, probe for weaknesses, and gather invaluable data without ever crossing the invisible line that could trigger open conflict. Flying a meticulously calculated route, the Stingray triggered every sensor along the border, lighting up warning systems, activating cameras, and drawing the full attention of Russian surveillance. Yet it never actually crossed into forbidden airspace. The message was unmistakable. The US could gather intelligence, test enemy responses, and project power, all without risking a single pilot or escalating to direct confrontation. Russian command centers scrambled jets in response, pilots racing into the sky, only to find nothing but empty air and shifting clouds, no target, no trace, just the lingering sense of being outmaneuvered. Was it a malfunction, a sophisticated jamming attack, or something entirely new that their systems had never encountered before? The confusion was palpable. The Kremlin's silence spoke volumes. No statements, no accusations, just a quiet acknowledgement that something significant had happened. This was no routine patrol. It was a calculated demonstration of technological dominance, a show of strength that left adversaries guessing and allies reassured. For nearly 3 hours, the MQ-25 haunted Kaliningrad's defenses, weaving in and out of detection, then vanished as quietly as it had appeared, leaving only questions in its wake. Russian screens went dark. Operators left frustrated and uncertain, grappling with a new sense of vulnerability that lingered long after the drone was gone. In Washington, the Pentagon offered no comment, maintaining official silence. But around the world, military, analysts, and governments had already taken notice, understanding the implications. The Stingray's flight was more than a maneuver. It was a statement. The rules of engagement had changed, and a new chapter in aerial warfare had just begun. To truly grasp the impact of the Kaliningrad incident, we need to look beyond the headlines and understand the technology at its core. That technology is the MQ-25 Stingray, a drone that's quietly redefining what's possible for naval aviation. Officially, the MQ-25 is an unmanned aerial refueling tanker, designed to extend the range and endurance of US carrier-based jets, allowing them to strike farther and stay airborne longer. But calling it just a tanker is like calling a smartphone just a phone. The MQ-25 is a leap forward, not just an upgrade. Its stealthy, angular design makes it incredibly hard to detect, track, or target, far more advanced than any conventional refueler ever deployed. Stealth wasn't an afterthought. It was the core of its design, hinting at secret missions and roles that go well beyond simply topping off fuel tanks. Packed with sophisticated sensors and advanced communications gear, the Stingray is more than a flying gas station. It's a high-tech intelligence hub in the sky. It can gather electronic signals, intercept communications, capture high-resolution imagery, and relay critical data from deep inside contested or hostile airspace, all without risking a human pilot. The MQ-25 acts as a digital bridge, linking ships, planes, and ground forces into a seamless, real-time network that multiplies the effectiveness of every asset on the battlefield. Its endurance is unmatched, able to stay aloft for hours on end, far longer than any human pilot could manage, making it perfect for long surveillance or support missions. The Kaliningrad mission was the first public glimpse of these hidden talents, revealing just how versatile and valuable the MQ-25 can be. In this operation, the MQ-25 wasn't there to refuel jets, it was there to listen, watch, and learn, silently gathering intelligence. By provoking and closely observing Russian air defenses, it collected invaluable data on their capabilities, tactics, and response times. The Stingray proved it's not just a support asset, it's a frontline strategic tool, shaping the future of aerial warfare and intelligence gathering. The MQ-25's mission near Kaliningrad was a masterclass in electronic warfare, blending cutting-edge technology with tactical finesse. This wasn't just a routine patrol, it was a calculated display of power and precision, designed to test the limits of both machine and man. The drone never actually crossed into Russian airspace, but it flew close enough to trigger a response from Russia's advanced S-400 and S-500 missile defense systems, putting their readiness to the test. With every unpredictable maneuver, shifting altitude, varying speed, and altering its electronic signature, the MQ-25 kept Russian radar operators on edge, forcing them to constantly adapt and reassess the threat. Sometimes, the drone would briefly appear on radar screens, only to vanish seconds later, leaving operators uncertain about its true position and intentions. This intermittent probing not only confused Russian defenses, but also exposed their detection capabilities and response times, providing valuable intelligence to NATO. The Stingray was effectively stress-testing Russia's most prized air defense systems, all while carefully staying just outside their engagement range, demonstrating both restraint and strategic intent. Thanks to its advanced stealth features, by the time a radar managed to lock on, the drone had already shifted position, making it nearly impossible to target. The entire operation sent a clear message. Even the most heavily fortified and layered airspace is not truly impenetrable when faced with next-generation technology and tactics. For NATO allies, this was a powerful reassurance of their technological edge. For Moscow, it served as a stark warning that their defenses could be outmaneuvered. The US demonstrated not only its ability to monitor threats from Kaliningrad, but also its capacity to counter them without direct confrontation. In the quiet skies above the Baltic, the balance of power had shifted, subtly but unmistakably, marking a new chapter in the ongoing contest of stealth and signals. Moscow's initial response was silence, a rare admission of confusion. Usually quick to boast about intercepting NATO aircraft, this time the Kremlin said nothing. When they finally spoke, officials downplayed the incident, calling it a blip on radar. But the denials only fueled speculation. Russia's vaunted air defenses had been outmaneuvered. On state TV, analysts called it a bold act of American aggression and a humiliating failure. The incident triggered snap air defense drills, rushed upgrades, and more fighter patrols. Russia's flurry of activity was a tacit admission. The MQ-25 had exposed a critical vulnerability. The ghost over the Baltic forced Moscow to rethink its security. The Stingray left a lasting impression and a shaken adversary. The MQ-25's flight sent a powerful message across NATO. For frontline states like Poland and the Baltics, it was reassurance. The US could watch Russia's moves with impunity. For the alliance, it was proof of American technological leadership and a call to invest in high-tech defense. Adversaries like China took note, realizing their own air defense bubbles could be vulnerable. The Stingray's success complicates the strategies of any nation challenging US naval power. The US wasn't just protecting itself, it was acting as NATO's technological shield. Intelligence from the mission would be shared, strengthening Allied defense. The alliance's deterrent power just grew stronger. The Kaliningrad incident shifted the balance of confidence between Russia and the US. Russia's belief in its impenetrable defenses was shaken. The MQ-25 shattered that illusion. In Washington, confidence soared. Unmanned, stealthy ISR missions were now proven, not just theoretical. The US had shown it could shape the future of warfare. But this new dynamic is dangerous. A less confident Russia may act more aggressively to restore its image. The risk of miscalculation and escalation in the Baltic region has grown. Meanwhile, rivals will race to develop counter-stealth tech and their own drones. The arms race accelerates and any advantage is fleeting. The Stingray's flight is a temporary edge in a long competition. The US must keep innovating to stay ahead. After the MQ-25's bold move, both Washington and Moscow face a crossroads. Russia will pour resources into new radars and stealth-detecting tech, and may act more aggressively in the region. More intercepts, more jamming, and more unpredictable behavior could follow. The risk: a single misstep could spark a crisis. The US must leverage its advantage carefully, testing other rivals' defenses without crossing red lines. Each mission will be a delicate balance of intelligence and restraint. The Stingray's success is now a bargaining chip in diplomacy. Both sides will adapt, refining strategies, updating doctrines, and preparing for a new kind of competition. The next phase will be fought with algorithms and sensors, not soldiers. The world watches, hoping this new reality doesn't spiral out of control. The MQ-25's flight near Kaliningrad marks a turning point in modern warfare. Drones are now strategic assets, able to challenge even the most advanced defenses. The shift from human-centric to machine-centric warfare is underway. Unmanned systems lower the threshold for risk, making bold operations more likely. The speed of conflict accelerates. Decisions must be made at machine pace. This raises tough questions. How much control should we give to algorithms? The Kaliningrad incident is a wake-up call. Future wars may be won in the digital shadows, not on the battlefield. Nations that fail to adapt will be left behind. The Stingray proved that smarter, stealthier machines are now the ultimate weapons. The Baltic skies are quiet again, but the world has changed. The MQ-25's secretive flight wasn't an act of war, but a declaration of a new era. Stealth, data, and autonomy are now the currencies of power. Russia scrambles to adapt. The US is emboldened. The security environment grows more unpredictable as rivals race to catch up. The use of unmanned systems blurs the line between espionage and aggression. The challenge: control these technologies before they control us. The Stingray's shadow will linger, a reminder that the world is on edge.